I know what it was like to be an athlete where women's sports were really nowhere in colleges.
The interesting thing was, to me, it was a brainchild of one woman that I happened to love.
I want to be part of a team effort. I want to be part of something that mattered to me.
I don't think the match was anything about women's sports. I think it was about social change.
I don't think you give us credit for having any brains.
I like the fact that Billie Jean won.
If you are fighting against Title IX, you are fighting against the very fabric of our nation, allowing people to be better.
I think it is definitely one of the most profound civil rights laws ever passed in this country. And the fact that so many of our young kids don't have a clue what it is drives me nuts.
Pearson running the option pass and going deep for Schwades. He's got it.
Title IX is important because in the belly of many young girls is a competitive spirit. In the belly of many young girls is the desire to go out and do the things that they see their brothers doing.
The women's Final Four, you saw some of the best, toughest competition you'll ever want to see in your life, and you can't sit and watch that and say, well, gee, somehow they lack a competitive urge like boys and men have.
We're ignoring the fact that women are no different than men in that desire and that drive to be competitive and to have fun and to do things that are interesting and fun, like sports.
Little League Baseball for boys 8 to 12.
Grew up on the street with 15 boys and one other girl. Never knew I was a girl until they wouldn't let me play Little League Baseball. It was a defining moment in my life.
Just can't keep those mothers in the kitchen. Of course, this is a job that gets done much quicker in women's hands.
I made the team. I was drafted number 1, Little League Baseball League. Drafted number 1, lined up to get our uniforms, which is the first set of uniforms you ever get. It's very exciting. And a very tall father came to stand next to me with the Little League rule book and said, no girls are allowed. Page 14, the middle of the page. I was the very best player in my street, and they wouldn't let me do the thing that I did best. I cried for months. Cried for months.
When I went to the Olympic trials, I made the event in the 100-meter freestyle as a relay swimmer. Came back from the Olympics already a world record holder. Age 14, I'm on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I made the Olympics again at 17 in 3 events and wound up winning 2 gold medals. After the games were over, I went back to the Tokyo venue, climbed up on the tall platform, and looked out into this arena. And I thought, what's next? There were no scholarships for women in college. There was a myth about women's sports, women athletes, that we were done at 17. Well, we were done at 17 like I was because there was no opportunity to go further.
I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama at a time when Birmingham was the most segregated big city in America. So I very often think of Title IX as trying to do away with discrimination, but really being about giving opportunity.
I participated in a speech contest in Chicago, and one of the participants was a 19-year-old wheat farmer's daughter from Oklahoma, who I got to know very well. She'd been a straight-A student in her high school, and the first girl elected president of the student body, then they elected governor of Girls State, president of Girls Nation. And this young woman had done everything in the world. Her dream was to go to the University of Virginia. Her application was returned. Women need not apply.
We're very excited to be playing in the Elite Eight.
I didn't have the chance to play basketball. As a young girl, for some reason, I loved the game. I loved the strategy of it. And I would just go watch the boys practice all the time. And to be able to go to the gym, I became the mascot one year just so I could watch the boys play. And then I got fired from the mascot job because it was a bear, and I took the bear head off when I was watching the games. It's something that has obviously changed my life. You know, without Title IX, I don't have the life I've had.
You've got this law signed in June of '72, and basically no one's paying attention. Your average people ignoring it. What is it? I don't know. Who's ever heard of it? And then in September of 1973, Billie Jean King plays Bobby Riggs.
People didn't like Bobby because they thought that he was this old guy who's hacker, but what they don't realize, he was the former #1 tennis player in the world, and I adored him and respected him. To Bobby, it was a hustle and it was money. To me, it was history and to change the world and how they thought about themselves, how they thought about the opposite gender, how they were going to raise their children for the future, how we were going to make this world a better place. So I had a lot of reasons to win, but I also had a great way to choke completely and lose.
Without Billie Jean King beating Bobby Riggs 15 months after Title IX has been signed by Richard Nixon, I'm not so sure that Title IX is the same law.
It's opened up doors which were not open before, and girls and women have walked in.
Athletics has actually been the most important influence in my life.
To have not played in college, I know I wouldn't have been the same person I am today.
I always just go back to the very simple question to a lot of people. Wouldn't you want your daughter to have the same opportunities and for those opportunities to be there that your son would have?
You can make a pretty strong argument that Title IX has had as big an impact on the landscape of the United States as anything.
I wish we didn't need it. Oh, God, do I wish we didn't need Title IX. But we needed it badly in 1972, and we need it today, and we're going to need it 40 years from now because there'll still be some people out there saying, no, women can't do this.